Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Football Daily Weekly. It's a pleasure to have you with us. I've got Adam with me.
Love him. How's it going?
And Laurence as well.
Love him too.
We're talking about our awards of the season. The season is over. Well, the Premier League season is anyway, and a lot of the others are nearly done. So the awards of the season, let's start with Player of the Season. It seems like an obvious place to start, Adam. Who are you going to go for? Who takes
Seems
your
like
fancy?
an obvious one. Cristiano Ronaldo.
Cristiano Ronaldo.
I think, you know, he's been very good this season. Madrid and Portugal. The playoffs, he sort of fired them to the finals there. So it seems like the obvious choice. Unless anyone else can.
Well, I can.
He did win the Ballon d'Or as well.
And he won the Ballon d'Or.
Which would suggest that's the right answer.
Yeah.
It's hard to give Player of the Season anyway because it's a team sport.
Yes,
So
exactly.
it's always a weird award for me, Player of the Season.
We've not even spoken about the Premier League. Luis Suarez. in
Luis
there.
Suarez.
People saying if it's not Luis Suarez, then it's a very transient Yaya Toure.
Yeah,
Again, another worthy
shout.
competitor.
He's won the league.
Who are we going for? We've got to whittle this down. I agree with
Ronaldo.
I would go with Ronaldo as well.
Yeah, fine, Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah. Cristiano Ronaldo, our Player of the Season. Young Player of the Season. We're going under 21 with this
Okay.
one, by the way. An obvious one to chuck out is Ross Barkley, who's been who's been very good in the Premier League.
Yeah, he looks like he's going to make the World Cup squad as well.
Not the same consistency as maybe a Raheem Sterling.
Yeah.
Although Raheem Sterling was out for quite a string of games for a whole month under Brendan Rodgers.
That's
Then
true.
came back and was really prolific towards the end of the season.
I think I'd agree with you there, actually.
Yeah.
I would probably go Sterling over Barkley.
I mean, you could go for Paul Pogba, couldn't you? He won the Golden
Yeah,
Boy.
Sure.
that's true.
But
Pogba has been pretty...
Sterling's got more assists, more goals this season. He's
Pogba's won the
improved a
league,
lot.
though.
Pogba has won the league, so
Sterling was so
they
close.
didn't. Yeah, Liverpool
Yeah.
didn't win the league, so
That's true. I think Sterling would be an all right one for that.
I'd probably go for Sterling. Seeing how much he's improved since last season, and he's done it in pretty decisive games.
He's not the best in Europe, though. Like, he's not...
No,
You know.
but for the sake of this little YouTube show,
Yeah, it's not little.
no, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right, yeah, Sterling.
we're having Sterling. Team of the season. Team of the season.
Now this is where we acknowledge Diego Costa.
Now we do it.
Yeah,
Atletico Madrid.
Yes.
No, Atletico Madrid. I mean, they could win the double.
be incredible.
It would be absolutely incredible. They won the Copa del Rey last season, and so to go and do a double Champions League and League this season would be. But even if they don't do it, they've had an amazing season. It would be a very, very bitter taste, of course.
I'd
But you
say-
have to acknowledge they've been one of the form teams in Europe this season.
Yeah, like you say, even if they don't win it, I'd still say they're team of the season for what they've achieved. They've sort of overachieved, haven't
Yeah.
they? So I think whereas teams like Man City, they did win the League Cup, but they didn't perform in Europe. You're
Yeah.
saying Juventus haven't performed in Europe, whereas Atletico Madrid on both fronts.
Well, I was going to say, what about Manchester City? Because they have done a double, a league and cup with the manager, the first non-European to win the Premier League.
But I'd say they've done what's expected of them. We should expect them to win the league, considering their wage budget.
And they've been the best team in the Premier League, despite Liverpool's... Sorry? What does that mean to me?
I'm not sure they have been the best team in the Premier
Who
League.
has been?
Team of the season, Liverpool. Can I put that out there?
You can do, yeah.
What would you say?
Absolutely.
Not.
I know. I think it is a fair suggestion, but I would still err towards Atletico Madrid.
Oh yeah, ahead of Liverpool. Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
Adam.
Atletico Madrid.
Atletico Madrid it is. Manager of the season, Diego Simeone. He's got to get a big old mensch because we've said
That's
Atletico
right,
Madrid.
yeah.
But then Brendan Rodgers.
Nah, mate. His team weren't the best team in the Premier League. So.
Well, they weren't.
But he,
Well,
yeah.
you're getting narky. The league table doesn't lie, as we all
All
know.
right, Tim. He has not.
Don't we, Marcus?
He has not had the best squad to deal with, and he's arguably got the best out of them.
Are you talking about Tony Pulis now?
Yeah, I really am.
Right, okay.
He's done excellently.
Tony Pulis has got to be up there.
Better than Diego Simeone.
I think we can say Diego Simeone,
100%.
Manuel Pellegrini, and Tony Pulis.
Yes,
There's your
absolutely.
list.
That's the three, and they sit right there.
Well, who would you have as manager of the season then, Adam?
Diego Simeone.
Yeah,
Like the same thing we were saying about Atletico
that makes
Madrid
sense, doesn't
there.
it? Final of the
It's the whole
Champions
thing,
League.
yeah.
Probably going to win the league. I'm saying Simeone as well.
We have to come to a consensus, so I'm going to say Simeone.
Yeah. Oh, you could say Rodgers and be outvoted 2-1.
Sure, okay, Rodgers. Yeah.
Well, you still lose.
Yeah.
Worst manager of the
league.
season. Worst manager of the season.
There's a lot here, isn't there? Tim Sherwood.
Tim Sherwood.
Yeah.
His win ratio is the best of any Spurs
It's not
manager
all about-
in the history of the Premier League.
It's not all about what happens on the pitch.
No, it isn't.
No, it isn't. And I think he's brought the club into disrepute at times because he's said so many ridiculous things. He was never here for the long run, and he's put himself out there for the long run. He is blowing his own trumpet horrendously, and it's It's just embarrassing. I think he's been an embarrassment as a manager. I think he's been found out tactically when we've come to the big games, and because he's English, people want him to do well. I understand that. Because he wears a gilet, people want him to do well.
I mean, Adam, you're a Spurs fan. What do you think?
I sort of agree with Laurence.
Yeah.
I do. I don't think he has handled a lot of the aspects of being a manager well. He hasn't been ideal, but worst manager season is a little bit harsh. I'm going to say Moyes.
He made errors as well, but I think his players didn't perform for him and they were a little bit unprofessional at times.
I think even though he had all the problems, and even though it was very difficult for him, like I was saying, players didn't perform, they still did so badly that it's almost inexcusable.
Laurence?
I'll have to go with Moyes as well.
Moyes it is. Moyes it is. Signing of the season. Signing of the season.
This was hard because there weren't that many.
I've got one.
Oh.
Got a great one.
Go on.
Well, I think you're going to say there's not many signings that have been made that have been very decisive for the big teams, apart from Gareth Bale.
Gareth Bale.
20 goals, I think 16 assists. I think
the winning goal in the cup final.
There you go. He's really adapted well to the new league. I think he sort of proved himself.
He'll be playing in the Champions League final.
Could win the Champions League in his first season there. I don't think there's any other signings who have really had such an impact in a big club like that. Although you could go lower down and say people like Wilfried Bonney at Swansea.
He's had a marvellous season, really, isn't he? He's scored a lot of goals, which helped keep them up.
For me, it's Bale. But I mean,
Fernandinho. What about Fernandinho?
Really good shout. Yeah. He's made them a lot more tactically adaptable, hasn't he? And he's
freed up Yaya Toure.
Yeah.
He's up Toure.
Although I think a lot of people have done that in the past, but I think maybe Fernandinho's done it really well this season.
Yeah.
And I think Man City, for that reason, look like a better team with Fernandinho in them.
I will go for Fernandinho in this.
All right, Fernandinho.
Oh, I'll go for Gareth Bale, but you can
Fernandinho.
2-1.
Fernandinho. Worst signing of the season is Eric Lamela.
You could have any pick of all the Spurs signings.
Are we going for Eric Lamela?
Most of them. I'd go for Lamela, personally.
I feel quite harsh saying that because I don't know what's going on in his personal life and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
we've not said that about anything else. I mean, I feel very sorry for Moyes. I don't know what's going on in his personal life, but he was bad at United.
Well, no, but with Lamela, he may not have settled to life in a new country. No, I think Lamela, he's just, for the amount of money that's been paid and for the such little return they've had.
You're not necessarily saying it's his fault that he's the worst signing, but you have to say it's a bad investment.
That's right.
For 26 million.
Fellaini.
He played more of a part in Manchester United season than Lamela did with Spurs.
Yeah. We don't know what's going on in his personal life. So.
You didn't know what's going on, did you?
That is true.
That
is true.
Lamela hasn't had the chance to play because of injuries or what have you. Fellaini has, and yet he's been so bad. So you could say, he's had the chance to prove himself. Lamela hasn't.
Yeah,
Fellaini has.
I'm going for Eric Lamela.
I'm going to go Fellaini because he is symptomatic of everything that went wrong at United this season.
Adam.
I think I've convinced myself it's Fellaini.
Well, there you go.
I think if Lamela had more chances, he might have proved a little bit.
Okay,
he's there, isn't he?
Fellaini it is. Goal of the season.
John Joe Shelvey.
Good shout. I love that goal. I don't think it got the plaudits it deserved.
Do you know every goal that John Joe Shelvey scores?
It's been brilliant.
You go, I love that goal. It can be any John Joe Shelvey goal.
The goal at Anfield was an absolute beauty.
Fantastic. And the own goal that he scored. Absolutely brilliant. Yeah. Suarez against Norwich. Do you remember that strike?
It's not as good as Shelvey's though, despite what the match of the day voters said.
I think it's one match of the day. It's one of the Wilshire's one.
Jack Wilshere for Arsenal against Norwich.
Even as a Spurs fan, it pains me to say, but that was a very good goal. Ding dong ding.
For me, it's Shelvey or Wilshere, and I would probably say Wilshere. Although I did love Shelvey's goal.
It's been a season full of goals, hasn't it? I mean,
tends to be.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. But so many teams reaching the century. Well, 2 teams reaching the century.
Yeah.
And City themselves scoring some lovely goals in there as well. So
who are you going for goal of the season?
Shelvey, John Joe Shelvey.
I like that.
Yeah.
2-1. Wilshere.
Wilshere. Convince me.
It's John Joe Shelvey.
It's John Joe Shelvey, ladies and gentlemen. John Joe Shelvey. Ladies and gentlemen, get your comments in below. Do suggest your players and managers and teams of the season, all the rest of it in the awards, and have yourselves a nice week.